We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5. You're listening to Power 98.5, powered by United Angels Dream, your number one resource for public relations, entertainment, and multimedia. Contact them today at unitedangelsdream.com.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
We've got that kind of afternoon here, live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5. Julien is back in town. We've got more snow. Not going to complain, because it didn't take that long to shovel like it did when we got the 2.5 feet. However, a lot's got to get done. Snow needs to get melted. We are ready for summer. That being said, I've got the one, the only, Julien Gauthier from the New York Rangers, live online here out of New York. Julien, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, we're in hockey season. I told you, you can be here on season, off season, whatever's happening in your life, it's worth discussing because you've got some incredible things going on in building, as I told you before we went live. This legacy is absolutely incredible considering the background, you know, with your grandfather, your father being professional bodybuilders.
Yeah, I mean, since an early age, I've always been around, like a big family of like sports. Like my grandfather was a professional wrestler, pro bodybuilders. My dad was a pro bodybuilder as well. And my uncle, played in the NHL for 11, 12 years. So, my background was really all about sports.
Your father, Martin Gauthier, at 18, he was named Mr. Canada.
Correct. Yeah, big accomplishment, honestly. It's amazing to see what you can do with hard work.
What was the real transition knowing that your dad, your grandfather, you come from a lineage of wrestlers and bodybuilders? I know that it was written that hockey really touched your spirit and your soul. What was it, or what is it about this sport that really fueled your life?
I would say when I was young, 2 or 3 years old, the first time I went for a skating, with my parents, both my mom and my dad, it was, the first time I was on the ice, it was just amazing. Also, especially in Canada, it's a national sport, everybody's playing it, but it just had something, fun to be with. Like, every time I would be skating on the ice, it would be like fun, be a fun time. You don't think about anything else. You just think about, scoring goals, skating with your friends, having fun. It's like a moment where you free your mind. And it kept going on like that since now,
Did you ever think, Julien, when you were at the age of 9, you would be where you are today?
Honestly, I had big visions. My mom would always make me visualize, what you want in life. It's important because, thoughts become things, and it is true. But obviously, there's a factor of luck and, timing. I don't know if I've completely imagined myself here, but, good things happen when you work hard. You do your workout on and off the ice. You put the work, and, really glad that it turned out that way.
You're 23 now, right?
Correct. Exactly.
6'4", 225, 230.
Yeah, exactly. You got it right on.
What would be the best accomplishment that you have come to find out about yourself as a young professional and as a man that you feel absolutely proud of?
I'm proud of keep going through adversity, being a professional athlete, especially at the highest level you can be in your sports. it really seems like, like people from the outside just see, you play games and you're having success, but it's a real grind to get there day in, day out. You got to try to do something to get better. There's going to be some times you don't understand really the decision of, like, anything can happen, but it's just really your way of focusing of, like, no matter what happened, no matter what goes into my way, I will find a way to get out of it and stronger, and that's really the thing. Every day, even right now, it's still a battle to, make sure you stay on the team, make sure you're playing well. And, this will never end until you stop playing your sport,
When you were with the Checkers, I read that you had scored 26 goals out of 44 games. Now, in my opinion, to me, I think that is extremely beyond talent. I mean, 26, 44, there's not enough room to say you're not making an impact in this industry. How do you feel about what you've accomplished with the Checkers, and what will you take from what you've learned and how you've grown with that team into the New York Rangers?
Oh, well, my goal when I was originally drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes. I was in the minor league for a little bit, trying to really prove what I could do, before making the big jump, because, the American Hockey League and the NHL, it's a big step in between these two leagues. So, I really wanted to, show what I could do. And, I was always a good goal scorer, my whole life. I've always had that touch and, to really focus on putting a lot of pucks in nets, but especially just playing good on offense and defense, really completing my game. That made a big difference for me. And that's how I was able to translate this in the NHL and be traded for the Rangers,
For everyone who's tuning in, we have Julien Gauthier. He is with the New York Rangers. He is here on the East Coast for all of us. For those who may or may not be familiar with hockey, what is your actual position with the team?
I'm a right winger right now. I'm a forward, a right winger.
And what is your responsibility as a right winger?
You're always on the right side of the ice. You got to make sure, because you're a forward, you try to create a lot of offense. But, a forward has to be as good in defense as an offense. It's important to come back quick in your own zone, help your defensemen, make sure the transition game is quick from the DV zone to neutral zone, and then you can translate that into some offensive plays.
Your dad, Martin, is a chiropractor. He designs your workouts. How are you correlating, especially during this pandemic, Julien, staying physically fit? I know I take it that white fish and chicken is still part of your diet. You're not doing red meat?
Not a lot of red meat, honestly. Red meat contains a lot of fat. And for me personally, everybody's different. But for me, it was a little harder to digest. So we made a plan of, sticking to really basic white fish and chicken breast, a lot of protein, low fat. Keeps your body fit the whole year, and it gives you also good energy. Food is not just about looking good or feeling good. It's all physically. It's about mentally as well. What you eat is really important, and mixing that with good workouts, and it's a good combo.
Is your dad traveling with you, or do you have someone that the New York Rangers has set to keep steady these routines and workouts that you've got to do?
For sure have all the tools and resources here in New York with the Rangers. A nutritionist, a trainer, personal gym guy. But I still talk to my dad on the phone on the regular. But the habits of success, eating well, and working out. I think I've developed that, and I just kept that on my own, honestly, because in life you really often know what it takes to be successful, and it's a matter of you doing it or not, and just trying to do it every day is a big thing for me.
What I really appreciate about you is, and it bears repeating, even though you have come from an incredible lineage, I would like for you to know, and I'm saying this from my heart, and to everyone that is listening, you, Julien, are creating a real legacy for yourself, for people that are inspired by you, that will become inspired by you, for the future of your children. And I really, really hope that if anything, if there's any pressure, if there are any type of goals whatever it is that you set forth, I really hope you know that it's for yourself. And if there are any pressures, I believe that they may be ones that you place on yourself. But just know that you are an extension of your family, but you're also an extension of your own legacy. So just know that you've got a very clear path ahead of you. And I truly believe that you are blessed and you will continue to be blessed in this industry. And what you choose to do with your name is entirely up to you, no matter what past or family you have. This is all yours. It's all yours.
I appreciate it a lot. The way you talk to me is really nice. Of course, as you said, my family has a, nice background, sports and all that. But, what you do is creating it for yourself. It's fun that my family had that, but I want to do something on my own too. You don't want to live on someone else's name. You want to create something that, make sure that you're going to be proud of, for the rest of your life. I keep trying to build that on, and, good things will happen.
I would like to reassure you, if I may, 28 years in this business, I extensively go into who I'm going to interview. And I like to stay away from the flipper, flapper, fluff stuff and really go into making it about you and finding out what your true narrative is. And what I love most is in all of your video interviews and even written content, yes, it does mention your family. And congratulations to seriously everything they've accomplished. What the media has done in your favor is they've really allowed you to own your narrative and to own the story and to highlight you in such a way that I'm going to say, and once again, 28 years is very, very different. A lot of times when it comes to talent, especially young talent like yourself, when you come from a strong lineage, they usually stay on that curtail of what family or former family members have accomplished. With you, they're really paving a way, and you interview very, very well. And I'm going to say that not even the last thing, the beginning of your day, the middle of your day, or the last of your day, Julien, do you need to be concerned that you are only where you are because of your family? Because as it's written, as your interviews express, you are here because of yourself and what you're doing for yourself and because you believe in yourself.
Appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Yeah, visualization have been always a big part of, what I do, because I do believe that, thoughts become things, as I said earlier. And if you really put your mind into something, you can for sure achieve it.
You had, it was written that you had said you train to be powerful and strong at hockey. This is me adding in after that basically vanity or you having your shirt off is not a concern of yours. So when you're really in a gym and you're going at this, Julien, eating well, knowing your body well, taking everything seriously and really treating this as a sport and as a business, you really see beyond the fact of being responsible, that you're using your gifts, your talent, your physique, your strength. I also, what was it? You squatted 105 pounds by your late teens, 4 plates on each side. I watched a video of you on your Instagram. You're still doing 4 plates on each side.
Oh, more than that now. I was probably 17 or 18 at the time. I've always tried to, even if I take heavy sets, it's always with good form techniques, going low and, doing it the right way. And, of course, obviously, as I've started working out when I was 9 years old, about 9 years old. So, I've got really strong throughout the years, and I just keep building on it. I've never had once in my life, a time where I was like, I needed some time off the gym or stuff. It's not going to always be easy, because honestly, it's not a secret to everybody, lifting weights, staying in shape, being healthy. It's really hard, but you got to have the discipline to keep going if you really want to be successful.
In detail, if you could, what really goes into behind the scenes that people do not know what you do and what you go through in your career?
I would say that's a good question. I would say the on the ice part, the hockey part, I would say that, as I said, we only see like the goals, the game, the nice plays and stuff, but we don't see what's every time, we travel a lot. It's like tough schedules. We go back, we arrive late at the hotel. We come back home really late. We play a lot of games in a short period of time, especially this year with the shortened COVID season. Lots of practices. They like we're humans like everybody else. It's not gonna always be a nice day where you always want to practice, do this, do that. But it's really that you really got to understand that you got to keep pushing, do the right things the right way. It's called being a pro. Day in, day out. And I would say beside the hockey part, it's the fact that you consistently have to eat well, day in, day out. That's a tough one. People think it's easy, but it's really not. It's easy for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, but once you're over 10, 15 years doing it really is. It changes to a lifestyle. That lifestyle never gets easy, if I'm honest. Everybody loves burgers, fries, and pizza, but not everybody is ready to, eat chicken, rice, the right amount of food and calories to be in shape.
Do you ever have a cheat meal?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, you have to, because mentally you're going to break down mentally if you don't. But it's the calculator. Don't forget, guys, that it's not a cheat life. It's a cheat meal and not a cheat day sometimes.
I got to ask, why do they call it a cheat meal? Like, isn't that a little bit like make you feel guilty that you ate something that you cheated on?
I mean, some people, they're going to have a cheat meal every day. But once let's say you're really on your grind and you've been eating a healthy day in, day out, it doesn't matter if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you always eat healthy. Once you can get that little burger and fry, it's really exciting. And I don't feel guilty at all about it.
What is your go-to food on your cheat days?
Oh, Shake Shack is definitely Shake Shack is definitely a revelation for me. It was so good once I figure out what it was in the US, and Chick-fil-A too, all the good stuff.
Oh wow, Chick-fil-A.
Great stuff.
You had said, and I'm going to say this verbatim, I'm a big guy that can skate and shoot. I go really hard to the net. That's my thing. I try to hang around the net as much as possible, crash the net hard, play physical, and that's pretty much it. So does that really sum up what you're about in there?
Well, I mean, you try to when people try to describe you as a player, you try to give you like a couple of key words and key points, but obviously those are my strong points. My skating, my shooting, and my ability to go physically to the net, and win my battles and stuff. But I would say I try to be every day a two-way player, all-around player, where your teammates can rely on, your coach can rely on, and that's how you get good at the game. If you stop improving, you're not going to play in the NHL anymore. You got to be improving on something every day to stay there.
What would be, if there is anything, Julien, is there an end goal? And before you answer that, what I mean is, one thing I am not familiar with, but is there an age limit or time that you have in this career?
The NHL is, you don't know how long you're going to be there for. It's sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it goes bad. You never know what's going to happen. And, there's some decisions that are out of your control. I just try to really focus on what I can control. And, I'll play as long as I can. Hopefully I've done that my whole life. It's been my only job playing hockey. And, I'm having fun doing it. Stressful at time for sure, but that's like in everything. So just keep going at it, and we'll see when the time comes.
When's your next game?
We play the 24th.
Local?
I don't know if it's local on that one. I know in this weekend we have some local games because we can finally have some fans back at the Madison Square Garden.
Before we close out, time is precious, and I really want to thank you for joining us here on Power 98.5. We definitely want to have you back on again. I got some really, really great responses, and people are really taking in who you are and what you're accomplishing. And what I'm surprised by is how you are introducing a new fan base with hockey. And honestly, I became very, very much inspired to go more into understanding your career, your profession, what you do. And, people who know me well know I'm a huge boxing and MMA fan, but I don't get bored watching hockey at all? I think it's quite interesting.
Oh, absolutely. Hockey is a really fast-paced game. It's 60 minutes of like real action. It goes in one way, it goes the other. There's a lot of goals. There's a lot of physicality in the sport. It's really entertaining. And I mean, every time we get fans in the building, it's unfortunate with COVID. We don't have any right now, but back last year, it was so crazy how that you can feel the energy from the fans. The momentum. This is why we play as well. The support from fans and everything makes the game so much more enjoyable. And we can't wait to have a full pack MSG again.
Two things before we close out, my friend. What is the best advice that you would like to close out with, whether it's a quote, something that you've learned? It doesn't have to be to or for someone just in the field of hockey, just in general, with everything that's happening that's in the world. What would you like to say to offer peace and comfort and support?
I mean, I'm not used to do that, but I would say to everybody, that's feel like they're struggling, you're having a dream and you feel like it's far out, it's never really far out. It's only a matter of putting the effort in and out, and nobody's going to believe in you unless you do. It's about, really grinding, focusing, and really visualizing what you want, and anything's possible. Put the work in, put your mind to it, and good things always happen.
Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Let's say my parents back home, Linda, Martin, my friends back home, Montreal, French guys, Brendan, Jason, all my friends back home, miss them because I can't see them this year. So, it's been tough, but, we keep going.
Well, I'm proud of you, and I want to say social media very well. You did a great job sharing. We got a great response. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Julien Gauthier from the New York Rangers really gave us a wonderful opportunity to be a guest here live on air with Stephen Cuoco. In his schedule and due to the pandemic, anything and everything can change at any given time. And we will definitely have you back on, Julien. Definitely let me know anything that's coming up. It can be sports related or not, whether you eventually come out with a book. I can pitch you coaching one day.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for having me. It was a great pleasure. Honestly, it was really fun to talk to you. And thanks for everybody for listening to us.
Thank you, everyone. And if you want to stay on the line, Julien, we're going to do a quick closeout. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco with Julien Gauthier from the New York Rangers. And if you happen to miss any part of today's interview, it will air tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day, everyone.